going on, guys? Jordan Shallow here with Universal, here in Iron Arena Gym in North Bergen. Did I get that? North Bergen, New Jersey. Just going over like a deadlift session today. 2 weeks post-competition. I competed at the CPF Grand Prix in Toronto in early June. So this is actually my first deadlift session back. Just kind of reassessing where I'm at, or assessing where I'm at. Once the dust settled on the meet, I've done a fair bit of traveling since I competed. I've been in New York for a week, and then I was in London, England for a week, and then just flew into Jersey last night of the day before. So fairly simple session, worked up to top double off the floor at 6:35. Put it up on blocks for a few more doubles, and then did some deficit work around 500 dumbbell RDLs and called it a day. A lot of people don't apply principles of sport performance to powerlifting. They think it's just lifting weights, but when the weights get heavy, like, execution matters. And I only do this because one day at some point I'm going to compete again. And so the more reps you can get in the similar frame of mind and in, setup, technique, like, everything has to be reproducible. Like, control your variables as best you can. Then you can actually see, like, in your training what works and what doesn't. If you kind of come in and you do one thing one day and one thing the next, and your progress is arbitrary, your progress is not quantifiable, so you don't know when things are working, when they're not working. So it's always, even my top sets, it's the same routine, it's the same song, because I know on game day it's going to be the same song. And this is just, I think it separates athletes from powerlifters. Like, this is a habit I got into in playing competitive hockey growing up, and it's something that found me pretty well. But you can see it on the day when, like, variables start to change on a meet. Your warm-up sets don't go the same, where they're using calibrated plates rather than pound plates, or pound plates rather than calibrated plates in the warm-up room. You see the guys who are just powerlifters, and then you can see the guys that are athletes, and the difference is all here, because when I'm this far out from whenever my next meet is, this is what I'm training. The deadlift is almost like, it's almost a consequence of training this, or a medium in which to train, like, your mindset and everything. So that was it, just kind of getting comfortable on the bar again. It was like literally my first deadlift session in 3 weeks. That's included 6 different flights in a handful of different countries. So it was, a pretty good starting point, I think. Starting point towards what, I'm not sure, but it's always the same trajectory. So controlling your variables just becomes the name of the game. I think, like, you either, like, not like you got it or you don't, but, like, I don't think it's a discipline thing. Like, you either love to do it or you don't. Like, I'm not disciplined, I'm serious. Like, it'd be disciplined to go to a cubicle from 9 to 5 and then train. All my travel for work allows me to train in cool gyms in different places. And when I show up on meet day, I'm gonna be in a different setting, in a different place anyways. Like, I'm not one to compete in my own backyard, and I like kind of taking my show on the road. I just think it's one of the cool things about being a competitive powerlifter is you have the opportunity to travel and meet people. So I just happen to like that so much that I decided to do it for a career. So I don't see it as anything commendable. It's just, I don't know what else I would do. There's no such thing as a bad exercise, but an exercise without intent is a bad exercise. So, like, in all my training and, like, limited time I have, or all my travel and the limited time I have to train, it's like I need to have an answer for, like, why this exercise, right? Why? Because if not, it's a waste of time. And then if I do get to a meet and I've accumulated over 6 months to a year of, like, a wasted exercise in every session, it's a lot of time I could be capitalizing and expediting my progress. So I think, as a general rule, it's like, learn how to assess the movements, and if you don't, find someone who knows how to, because if you just go off of, like, whatever's trending, like, oh, everyone's doing snatch grip RDLs all of a sudden, it's like, all right, well, you just do that. It's like, well, what if your middle trap and your lats isn't really, like, your weakness in your deadlift? What if you're weak off the floor from your quads and you're not even loading your quads at all in a snatch grip RDL? But, like, you see, like, these flavors of the week trickle down from, like, top performers, and they're top performers because they're very specific. That snatch grip RDL for the guy that pulls 900 is exactly targeting the weakness that, when strengthened, is going to have him pull 950. Right? But it's like just some kid who wants to go from 400 to 500. It's like, that's a strong card to play. Like, maybe that's not the right hand for you, kind of thing. So, that's always where I start, is like assessment. Assessment, control your variables, intervene with a hypothesis and reassess. Like, that's science, roughly, right? So would be my advice. And it's like, it's a little convoluted, but I mean, that kind of separates people who want to be in it for the long game. A lot of times people they just want to do it for pat on the back and an arbitrary PR or something like that. It's like, if you really want to go far, this is a principle of diminishing returns. Like, you're going to get to a point where it's way easier to get from 400 to 500 than it is 500 to 6. And going from 500 or 600 to 7 is even harder. Now in the pursuit from 700 to 8 is 10 times harder than it was to get from 5 to 6 to 6 to 7, right? So that's got to be the mindset, is like, this is what you train.